Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. Talos Movies here. It's been a couple of weeks since my last post, and that's because life is difficult and it's keeping people busy. But all joking aside, I hope that you're all doing excellent today, and we got something interesting to look forward to. As you are probably very much aware by now, the background is slightly different. One would say it's a bit big. There are a few things that I would like to talk about in great detail, but I'm not going to go into great detail today actually on the matter. And that matter is that the past 2 weeks have been very interesting for mobile suit releases, and I will be more than happy to cover them eventually. But for the meantime, I will give you this. In the description below, there will be a PDF in full detail about the four last mobile suits you pretty much missed out on. We're talking about the Messer F02, the Armor Gym Barry Costume, the Engage Zero Income Type, and the Gundam EZ8 HMC. Now, those are all excellent mobile suits. I'll tell you in further detail at some point, but I think all of them are really powerful at their cost, and I think that they're gonna perform just fine at higher costs. But that's not why we are here today. We are here today for the announcement for the update of the month. The 6th anniversary is upon us. On the 25th of the month, there's gonna be a massive, and I mean quite literally, massive release so massive, in fact, that the many mobile suits will be dwarfed by it. And as you can see right behind me, the Xi Gundam is being added in ZBO2. I may be talking quickly. The reason is I'm both excited, and I do think that a quicker video is going to be greatly appreciated from everyone. Quite literally. So let's look at it really quickly. Uh, First of all, it's a 5-star. Oh, Second, instead of just going through the classics, well, I have a pretty much good old classic slideshow created by my better half, Avalon. Thank you, Avalon. Uh, so let's look at the weapons really quickly that way. Good old classic beam rifle. Nothing too special there. Sometimes having the important things is what matters the most. Up next, Beam Saber. Already you can see that we got an interesting DAS. A very interesting DAS, actually. It's a thrust of some sorts. And as you can tell from the dust, it has picked up some, well, it's not dust. Additional weapons, aka sub-weapons. The Xi Gundam Vulcan Cannon. Very interesting, if you ask me. Vulcan cannons are always better than Vulcan guns in the aspect that they have better build-up stuff. Triple missile launcher times 2, the ones behind the elbows, meaning that you have, I guess you could say, 2 times the missiles, but knowing that it has 3 missile launcher docks per arm, I'd say that you have 6 times the missiles. Waste funnel missiles. I can't English because I'm excited. Lock-on missiles that chase down the target. Now that is a big deal. We haven't had lock-on ballistic weapons in the aspect of other than funnels that ram into enemies, like the Fennecs and the Moon Gundams, and obviously a few incomes like the Desparas and the Hodge Ritters. So explosive ballistic missiles sounds very promising, and we'll see soon enough that they are also really strong. And finally, for the additional weapons, it has the arm beam cannon on the left arm, which is it's an instant, and it seems to be doing a lot of power, a lot of damage. I was going to say it does a lot of power. It has a lot of power behind it. So yeah, up next, skills, specifically the Minovsky flight unit. Thruster gauge will not be consumed while boosting consumption is heavily reduced. Attack power is decreased while you're in flight mode, and it can be used underwater. One of the very few flight modes that can be used underwater. Now, I will give you my 2 cents. Thruster gauge not being consumed unless you're boosting is, I think, a very powerful tool. Being able to constantly be in flight and have that space-like movement, that 3D movement, will make it very difficult for your opponents to deal with, well, with your very presence. Boosting using less thruster gauge is very pleasant, as that means that you can stay longer in the air while still using less thruster gauge. At this point, you want to stay more in the air than on the ground. I mean, we've seen it in the movie, we'll see it in the game. It says, it says it even in its name, Minovsky Flight Unit. At this point, the Xi will be probably the best flight unit. I mean, it's already a 5-star, probably it's going to be the best unit in the game. We'll see if it's going to be game-changing through and through, or if it's going to be just a really good unit, a really solid boy. Up next, Flight Form. Wings go into zoom mode. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. Flying at high speed for a short time will trigger flight mode or flight form, which pretty much obviously increases mobility, zoom mode. Build-up stun reduces, which is exceptional. You always want build-up stun to be reduced. Reactions further reduced, so you have maneuver armor squared, I guess, at this one. I don't know. Primary weapon can be used. What the perfect Gundam wanted to be is what the Xi is. We see it right here. Being able to use the primary weapon while boosting is going to be a game changer for it. And finally, melee becomes a special melee. So the melee attack will be vastly different. Probably its performance will change. Probably the multiplier will change too. But I think the beam rifle being able to be used so you have a boosting stun while you're in the air is very promising. I don't know if some of the weapons other than the Vulcans will be able to be shot while boosting. We'll see soon enough that apparently the waste missiles can also be shot while you're boosting. So that will be a very strong skill to have combined with all of your arsenal. Up next, MS Destruction Attack. Run, boy, run. Yeah, you kind of want to get away from the Xi. If the Xi is about to destroy you, it will gain benefits such as recovering its thruster gates. We've had in the past units that have a reduced thruster gauge after completing something they want, like the Perfect Gundam does have a quicker thruster gauge recovery after a successful reaction cancel through the quick turn, but getting a kill and recovering your thruster gauge, even partially, I think is a very enticing skill to have, because as something that flies constantly and can barrage you from afar, you don't want to be killed by it, because even if you get killed by it, you put the rest of your team in danger by giving it more chances for it to kill more things while it's in the air or while it's boosting. I think it's pretty self-explanatory why you want to avoid that. So, up until now, as you've noticed, we have a few interesting skills. So, let's look at the rest, because up until now, as you've noticed, all of those skills are very, very, very unique. They are some that we haven't had before, especially the flight mode being what it is. So let's look at it really quickly, shall we? Up next, and I think to me it's I guess you could say most interesting is a good way of putting it, because let's be honest, we all appreciate a good skill. Let's move to the next one. Beam Barrier. 'Tis but a scratch. Once again, what the Freedom wanted to be, the Xi becomes. Reduced damage and flints or reactions generally from beam weapons, but the rest is hidden to us because Bandai doesn't want us to know anything. Probably a little bit of a secret for us to be able to figure out more what's going on. Up next, Raise Counter. One of the first few 5-star exclusive skills. 5-star exclusive skills. What is that? Well, 4 stars had exclusive skills up until now, like the High Performance Counter Program and Counter Boost. So, let's see. Counter changes when HP is below threshold. So, kind of like the High Performance Counter Program. We don't know what the threshold is. Usually it's 30 to 50%. We'll see if this one is like 70%. Which if it is, the next part is horrifying. Attack and defense of you and all your teammates is increased for a set period. I don't think that I need to explain this, why that's horrifying. You pretty much inspire your allies. You inspire your allies to be more of a menace to the enemy team. Finally, Forced Sortie, another 5-star exclusive skill. 2 5-star exclusive skills, and it ain't no time to be sleeping. Because the enemy is gonna slip and slide and fall when they realize that once per match you can redeploy without the wait time after being destroyed. Now, we should mention that the mobile suit HP is reduced when you respawn, but you get back into the game instantly. That is massive. I can't stress enough how good that is. Well, this generally covers the skills of the Xi and the weapons from what we've seen, but we're gonna go straight into quickly explaining everything, compiling everything that we've just read into a very quick and short explanation on what we are about to see. First and foremost, it's coming out on the 24th, late night for Western times, and for Eastern time, the 25th, early in the morning. Xi Gundam from Hathaway's Flash, our first 5-star mobile suit, is arriving. With the new skills, as I mentioned before, such as Forced Sortie, Race Counter, it's a 700. That, honestly, why would you sleep on that? Like, why would you ignore that? So let's let the let's let it actually explain itself, shall we? Because on top of everything, as you already know, GBO is really good at explaining itself. Give me your best shot, Murphy. Seeing how the Xi is developed and made, it's about to give it its best shot in this game. An excellent and unique takeoff, as you've noticed already, using the Minovsky flight system. Beam rifle, beam saber with the lance. The sound effects of the beam rifle are straight from the movie, from what I can tell. I really like it, if you put it. Vulcan gun, or also referred to as the Vulcan cannon. Triple missile tubes times 2. See what I told you? Waist mounted funnel missiles, and there's where you can shoot them while boosting. It says head beam cannon, but we know everyone that it's an arm beam cannon. Or at least I think it's an arm beam cannon, unless it is a head beam cannon that we've never seen, which if that's the case, it's really scary visual. Minovsky flight unit, C variant, meaning that the Penelope might be coming soon. If you know, you know. Minovsky flight form, we've already flight form, we've already talked about it. MS destroying attack program, pretty self-explanatory, we talked about it as well. And finally, the counter that is coming, which he ends up punching people with. That is really funny. There you have it. 700 ground only general. Already very, very promising. Along with it, the Bunsey and the Unicorn will be added in the recycle ticket counter. But that comes secondary. So let's look at first our free rolls. Not 1, not 4, but 8 10 rolls. First week, second week, and third week, and fourth week are 1 free 10 roll each. But on the very first GBO days, so on the 31st, all the way to the 4th of the month, for, you know, Pacific Daylight Time. I think that's what PDT stands for. And, you know, uh, Central European Standard Time or Summertime? Probably Standard Time. I don't know. I suck speaking English. We get another 10 roll every day. Instead of the single rolls, we get 10 rolls. They're all mobile suits, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Those free rolls during GBO days are mobile suits only, usually. So I hope you get something good out of your rolls. And yeah, that's generally it. 80 rolls. Now, the Xi comes with 10 steps, not 7 steps, but don't be scared. The 7 steps you can still get the Xi guaranteed with the new custom part. The fourth step is all guaranteed mobile suits. The first step is a half of roll. And the 10th step gives you, once again, the Xi, so you can get 2 Xis back to back, a guaranteed 4-star, and a pilot cosmetic. Now, the new part is actually pretty interesting, so let's scroll all the way down to the bottom. Special Strengthened Frame Type A increases unit HP by 5%, increases ballistic and beam resist by 9, but you can't put multiple of these. Now, that is a powerful skill, I'd say. Depending on the slots, it might be one of the better cost efficiency ones or the worst skills parts, depending on how you view it. Up next, 72-hour limited step-up supply drop, which, as you've noticed already, half of roll, mobile suit guaranteed from 4 selected units, and finally the mobile suit selected from these, plus the Slifer Rail, meaning that we're not getting 1 mobile suit with the anniversary, but 2 mobile suits. One from mainline UC, which is Hathaway, and the other from UC Engage. Now, I know that there are not that many UC Engage design fans out there, at least that I am aware of, but if there are, I think that Slifer Rail is one of the cooler designs and very interesting ones. As you can see, step 1 already is very interesting with the Geoff 7, Muska, the Jera Cannon, and the Metal Spider. All of them are exceptional units. Out of these, the weakest one is the Muska, and it's still one of the better units out there, which proves how powerful the other 4 units are. Full Armor Alex, Engage Zero Booster type, Camphor Hammer build type, and Digest Salt package. All of them are exceptional. There is no weak one here. All of them are great at their job, and they are better at doing what they do best than any other unit, for the most part, at least at their costs. Finally, Lotto, Angsa, Silver Bullets Oppressor, and Zeta Gundam 3A. Again, some of the best units. All these 3 steps, if you don't have those units, or if you're lacking at least 2 to 3 of these units, you're going to get some of the best units out of the rolls. Plus, the first one is a half of roll. So, I can't implore you, I can't ask you enough to go ahead and do at least a half of roll. Half of rolls are always useful because you pay half the price for good stuff, and this is the good stuff. Slifer Rail is, by the way, a 350 general, ground only. It has a bit about it, but we haven't seen much. It seems like it has a new type of beam javelin which just launches at you. I'm curious to see what it plays like. There is a video about it, but we have a bit more to talk about in front of us, so I will let it slide for now. Up next, 6th anniversary containers. There are 4 of them like every anniversary, and these anniversaries versions, they are incredible. First of all, 39 tokens for logging in during the anniversary. And then, depending on if you are platinum or not, you can get 60, 60 per plat, you get the idea. Like, you get a lot of tokens. 60 tokens just from special container alone. And that's 15 from the special container every week. Now, I don't know if you're gonna get the previous ones, because if you get the previous ones, you need to understand something. We're looking at, if I'm correct, 10, 30, 65, 100, and 175 tokens. Almost enough to get you another full 4-star roll. If you have played over 1,500 days, obviously. So, if you haven't, it's in the following 10 tokens, then 30 tokens if you have the silver, then you have 65 tokens if you have gold, then you have 115 tokens if you have platinum, and finally 175 tokens if they give all the containers back to back and not just one of the containers. I am thinking that we might receive all of the containers, but I think that would be too generous. So take what I say with a grain of salt if you're gonna get all of the containers back to back. If you do, I mean, save up for your 4-star that you want to, keep those tokens for a 4-star that you want. If not, do whatever you want with those tokens. Next, container of volume 2. Up to 50 mobile suits. Insanity. Out of all of these, over 90% of them are very much capable to stay in the meta. The weakest ones, and I will pick them very carefully out of these, weakest but not weak per se, are the Gunner Gundam, which a few updates ago it became a lot better than it is. The Dome Cannon Multigun type, which is again a very powerful unit still. Prototype Gundam is kind of outdated, but who knows, we might see a few updates on the matter. On the mobile suit, Full Armor Gundam, again same deal as before. And Gundam Mark V, and finally Gaimel. Those are the weakest ones out of the whole thing, and those are still not weak mobile suits. Afterwards you can get a GP00 Blossom, Justice is our Team A, Advanced Hazel, Hazen-3, and finally the S Gundam, depending on which container you have, making them once again excellent units to acquire. If you like any of these, I think that it's a great thing to at least log in once a week to get these at least. Up next, Volume 3. Enhancements, or enhancement tickets. So let's look at them. First week is... oh no, actually it starts during the... third week of the event. So during the third week of the event, it seems that you're gonna have enough to fully enhance most 4 stars, or sorry, 3 stars at least. I wouldn't say 4 stars, but 3 stars for sure. But you're gonna have plenty to enhance your 4 stars by a lot. Look forward to it. I think that is great, actually. Not much more that I can say because it's a maximum 500,000 DP and then mechanic and modification tickets and kits, you know, accordingly. Up next, 4th container and final one. 5 carefully selected custom parts, and then the longer you've stayed, you get other parts as well. Nothing exceptionally new. Just by logging in, you get the level 5 of all anti-armor, so let's just say anti-ballistic beam and melee, and then the enhanced melee and firing program level 4, which are second to last for those two, but you can get the level 5s from, you know, logging in for more than 600 days. You get also auxiliary generator level 5. All of these are existing parts, but the Psychoframe level 1 is very nice if you don't have it, because this was a 4-star unique part, and you could only recently get it through the recycle ticket counter. So for those that missed it, you also have an incredible chance on getting this as well. Finally, we get Year 6 Special Token Pack. We get the limited missions, which I've skipped entirely over on accident, and we have a few interesting ones, as the Gym Raid was a special pack reward with tokens. The Jim Kai Shadow's Weapon Rack variant was a clan match unit, which is also a very powerful one, and a brand new mobile suit, Makuv's Goof, with a 300 raid. Now that is interesting, as we haven't seen that one yet. I'm looking forward to see what it does. I'm gonna try to get it. You should too. Also, I noticed first week we don't only get the Dome Cannon Single Gun type, but also the Full Armor Slave Wraith. So you 5 mobile suits, 4 weeks. Make sure to keep an eye on them. Special Token Pack is worth pretty much what you'd buy 30 tokens for, you're gonna buy 60 tokens for. There's a token pack with Mufti or Hathaway himself talking in your ear, yapping away, bubbling on. Then there is a limited time anniversary sale, which everything in the DP exchange and the recycle counter is 30% off, meaning that you can buy them for cheaper. It's gonna be really good. And for new and returning soldiers, 5 times the XP and clan points and 10 times the DP. And finally, you get the 5 times clan leveling rewards up to 5 times per pilot, meaning that you can get up to 25 tokens and 250,000 DP in one go. And that generally covers what the event has in sights for us right now. There's not much more that I can give you, unfortunately, yet. The most I can tell you for sure is that we have a lot in front of us. I don't think that what you're gonna see is gonna be small per se, I guess you could say. So what I will do before I head out is I will put one last thing up for everyone to watch. It's the intro to the 6th GBO2 anniversary. Now, you may be thinking, why were you saying it so slowly? Why were you saying it as if, it's something that is, I guess you could say, horrifying? Well, because to me, it's interesting that we've reached this point. I'm actually glad to have reached this point. And I really hope that everyone is in the same as I am. I'm really hoping that you all enjoy what we're about to see. And while this is playing, I'll just let you enjoy. I will give a quick thanks to the Patreons while this is happening, and we'll talk afterwards. So let's look at it really quickly.